right? These are still man-made, very closed, bounded games. They're not on the road to the unbounded game of life. They are completely artificial. But there are absolute problems with capitalism. I think monopolies are a problem. I think that crony capitalism is a problem, but the government, kind of gets in bed with them and sort of forces things. I think the bankers have really, raped society, and the rest of us are suffering.
Literally.
Yeah, they've essentially taken huge risks where they privatize the gains and they socialize the losses. So when it fails, they basically get bailed out and bankrupt everybody else. So capitalism has gotten a really bad name. Let's talk about it as free exchange, free markets. Free markets and free exchange are intrinsic to humans. From when the first person started a fire and somebody came along with a deer and said, hey, if I cook my deer and your fire, I'll share some of it with you, right? So specialization of labor, we trade, that's built into the human species. Basic math comes from accounting, keeping track of debts and credits and so on. We need to be able to engage in free trade. The correct criticism of capitalism is when it does not provide equal opportunity. And so we should always strive to provide equal opportunity. But people confuse that with equal outcome. When you have equal outcome, that can only be enforced through violence, because free people make different choices. And when they make different choices, they have different outcomes. And if you don't let them suffer the consequences of bad choices or reap the rewards from good choices, then you are forcibly redistributing through violence. It's interesting that there are no working socialist examples that exist without violence. You basically need someone to show up with a gun and say, okay, you're not allowed to do that. You hand this over to that person. So one of the reasons why I do this podcast is because I believe everybody can be wealthy. Everybody. It's not a zero-sum game. It is a positive-sum game. You create something brand new, you exchange it with me for something brand new I've created. There's higher utility for both of us. The sum of the value created is positive. It's not like status, where it's like, you're higher up, I'm lower down. You're president, so I must be vice president. You're a +1, I'm a -1. It has to cancel a 0. We should be all for playing positive, some ethical games. The problem is because of these looters who have ruined capitalism's name, that then you get socialists coming in and saying, burn the whole system down. Right. You burn the whole system down, we end up like Venezuela or the former Soviet Union. You don't want to be a failed socialist states with emaciated teens hunting cats in the streets to eat. Right? That's literally what happens in some of these places. So I think it's very important not to destroy the engine of progress that brought us here.